Oh boy, we are here with Tinka Jonakova. Did I say that right? Awesome. Yes. So I'm so excited. We're so excited to have you here. What are your gifts?
Primarily, I'm a clairaudient, so I get information through hearing. I use music a lot. I'm also a hands-on healer. I've been working with Tantra and Reiki for about a decade now. I can put my hands on someone and get information instantaneously.
Wow, about their health, about their childhood,
a word will come through like Florida, and it'll turn out that they're about to go on a trip there in 3 weeks, and they're supposed to do water purification or some sort of healing work,
Oh, that's great. When did you discover you had these abilities?
Really in probably early or fall 2016.
Okay.
When my niece died in an accident, and I had just started working with a pendulum from a teacher. And so knowing that she was alone, I just started to, I communicated all the time.
With your niece?
Well, at first it was not her, but I was with spirits like 24/7.
Oh, wow. How did it feel?
It was an addiction.
Yeah,
it was like I loved getting communication. It was sort of extraordinary, and it was unlike anything I'd ever really experienced before. So,
what were you doing before that time?
I was a tantrika and a mild sex worker, and
mild sex worker. I love that.
And hands only, sort of
like a mild cigarette or something.
Yeah,
right.
Or like a sexual surrogate kind of thing, like that.
Yeah, like people come to me when they're going through a breakup. I give them good love and then some healing work and send them on their way.
Wow. Yeah, sexual healing is very potent, and people are very threatened by it, which I have another podcast called Guys We Fucked, and it's just...
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just... I always love hearing people's reaction to it, because some people still are like, what? I'm like, we all have sex. We all have sexuality. It's okay. It's okay to seek healing through that, too.
Yeah,
that's sure. Amazing. But
you don't call it Guys We Made Tender Love To.
I mean, I do. That's what I mean when I say that. But yeah. Well, there's also a lot of healing that can happen during sex. But also when you have sex with somebody negative, you kind of feel it. You're like,
oh, yeah.
The energy that gets transmitted during sexual encounters is very intriguing. It's interesting to me. I don't think that gets talked enough about.
I think you can sense it from depending on what sign people are, the energy is always different.
Right.
Like I've had sex with Scorpios before and felt like I was having sex with the devil. I'm like, this is dark.
Whoa.
So most people are pretty sensitive energetically, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I agree.
Have you ever covered like the sort of urban tantrika phenomenon on Guys We Fucked?
No, but I'm like,
because for some reason I used to have relationships with many women who did that work.
What's tantrika? I don't even know what that is. I assume tantric related?
Well, it's sort of, neo-tantra, like Western neo-tantra. So they would often do sessions. There were some people who had area, places or temples, I guess you'd call them, where there would be a bunch of urban tantrikas, would have rooms or whatever. And it'd be like a session. Like there would be some nudity, maybe like energy moving through the chakras. I mean, you know better than me. Kind of like
a puha to make everyone connect, and then
but also often like a hand job or something like that, physical touch.
Exactly.
A
little spiritual handy and a literal handy.
Yeah. Holy handy.
You got the zings today, Dana. This is great. So that's wow. So the unfortunate passing of your niece opened up this communication with spiritual level. I would be addicted to it too. I feel like I'm very drawn to I want to obtain the ability to talk to dead people. I just think that's so cool, and I've witnessed it in action, and I've witnessed the healing that takes place. I'm like, that is the most phenomenal thing. And how are we not talking about this every day? Yeah. So how did your abilities kind of develop from there once you developed this connection after your niece died?
I think that I've been listening to music since I was 4 years old, and I never made the connection that it was because that was the way that I heard. But that is the primary way that I find that the spirit world tries to communicate with us.
Through music. Like a song playing when you walk into a grocery store kind of thing?
Exactly. That was one of the first things one of my teachers said to me is like, pay attention to what's playing when you walk into a store. If you hear it 2 or 3 times, that is clearly a message from your guides.
Yeah.
You know?
I see. I've experienced synchronicity a lot, specifically with a particular Beyonce song.
Which one?
Halo.
Yeah.
I've heard it in times. I'm a big Beyonce fan. This is the only person in pop culture that I'm like an actual huge fan of. But like I've heard that song in public places during times where I was like suicidal, like really low, and it made me so happy that my angst like just melted into happiness. It was wild.
That's one of my niece's songs too.
Oh wow!
It's like a sign of like she's doing her angelic work to protect me.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How old was she when she passed away?
She was 9.
Oh, so
And
What happened?
I was just telling her that there was actually some black magic that was being focused on me, and several teachers have said that she absorbed and that the accident happened, which is, energy's everywhere, and that's kind of how it works from time to time.
Yeah, you said like she absorbed an energetic hitman for you in a way.
Yeah.
But you were, because that was before you'd started getting into kind of this type of work? Or
I had just maybe the month before had gotten into it hardcore. It had only been weeks.
Wow.
And I was led on some pretty crazy. That's the thing also is like spirits, they're tricksters, so they want to get you worked up and connect to, they have all of your files as far as what you're all about. So
your weaknesses, your emotional weaknesses and stuff like that.
Yeah, they will. Some spirits are super good, and some spirits are like, I live in this dimension over here. Let's create some chaos.
Right. How do you? Is there a way to like say a prayer and just say, "Can you just protect me for the rest of my life from negative shit?" Because it's exhausting to think about how often a negative energy or negative, I don't know, signals can be thrown at you.
You really have to keep yourself super clean. I think that any practitioner would say that to you, that it's super important to always be aware that like working with energy is not, it's not, when you're working with a liminal space, there is the possibility for anything to occur, and so you really want to keep it clean.
Wow. And how do you do that? Sage,
sage, sweep, shower every single day, release
like literally
your stuff.
shower with water, or like a light shower. Okay,
water purification is one of the best ways. I ask to let go of the day at the end of the day, and it's really helped clean stuff up for me.
Wow. And then is there, a lot of times these negative energies that are thrown at you, it can feel like, am I mentally ill? Am I remembering a trauma that's happened? Like, how do you know? How can you decipher? Is there a way to decipher if like someone's throwing a dart at you emotionally, or that, maybe you're uncovered a memory from when you were a kid and you're just letting those feelings out that you couldn't let out earlier, and that's all that is?
Often they will lead you to information and whether it is like a good spirit or a bad spirit, they will sort of like bring up information and present it to you so that you will have that emotional release that they can. One of my teachers used to call it feeding off you. He's like, they're farming you, so you have to be careful about, really check in and see how it feels in your body, if this feels resonant or not.
Oh, okay.
Feeding on you. We talked about that before.
Yeah, like farming your.
So what does that mean exactly? What are they taking from people?
Well, because they don't have a body, they are getting off on your physical reactions. And
what do they have if they don't have a body?
Just energy?
I mean, other than the soul,
Is it some kind of substance? Is there like it's like made of electrons or strings, super strings, or is there something that it's made out of?
I don't know the answer to that question. Okay. I would say that from what, like my niece likes me to, she has a piece, not like a pendulum, but a thing that she likes to give me information through, where we will play music, she'll have me sing it, and then when she gets to the message, she'll drop to the floor. It's like basically a bottle on a long string, and people see me with it all the time. You know.
But for her to be using that, she has something like a body, like to move it around. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
there
Her
is
energy,
something
right? Yeah.
there for sure, because there's a complete language through how she shows herself in it.
Wow. Through this device that you use.
But
like,
I'm not enough of a science person to be able to know what
Well,
is
no
it that
science
they
person
are.
can help with this.
Yeah. If you get a science
But
person
my
involved.
theory, my guess is that it's something to do with dark matter and dark energy.
Yeah.
Because apparently 85% of the universe or more is the dark energy and dark matter, of which we don't know anything. Like our math just
Right.
doesn't work there. We don't know what particles are there or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you said the music is one way of communication.
The music is my main way of receiving. Like, if you start to work with your numerology, if you find your life path, like I know the life paths of all the dead people that I work with. And when that number comes along, that song is directly related to either something going on with them or another member of that life path. And so I do a lot of equating and figuring out what it is that they're trying to translate. Right now, the spirits have been trying to help me get to the end of explaining how this spiritual derailment that I went through, how it happened. And they have shown so much stuff. They talk about it every single day. And there's people who have been following this who are like, I don't believe how much they've talked about who did what and when.
To you.
What was
Or to the
what was
planet.
it? What was
Well, I have a blog that's like
Okay.
where I
kinda
started
keep
in
tabs.
2020 when I went into hiding.
Yeah.
And they just sort of started to show me how to communicate with music.
Wow.
It was a long time
Hold on a
to
second. There's a big piece of a story that I'm not understanding. Derailment, going into hiding.
Oh, yeah.
So I heard something about
So-
stalkers. What's this whole saga?
The saga is I've had a stalker who really started physically in 2017. That's when I started receiving messages. Like I saw that there was going to be a huge flood, and then Harvey happened 2 weeks later. I saw that on 9/11, I saw that there was going to be a terrorist attack. 4 days later, there was one in London on the tube. And so, like, I started to expand, and there was a person who was hiring things to psychologically disturb me. And
Okay. So this person wouldn't like physically show up like in your next to your home, like outside your
no,
home?
but she had keys to my place and was like leaving me bullets, like
In your home. Okay, so because we were just having a conversation with this gentleman who was talking about how when you open up these certain like psychic abilities and channels, there's so much higher levels of government technology than we could ever comprehend that can detect when somebody kind of is raising their vibration to such a matter where that's potentially they can throw emotions their way that could be disturbing, like suicidal
Yeah.
ideation and stuff. And what you're saying sounds like, how the hell is someone going to get a key to your apartment? They have to have a search, like they have to be some government person.
right.
Like there's
right.
no other.
Well, and they put a nanny cam in my house in a painting that was in there for 9 months, and
Did you find it?
it wasn't until I was told by a spirit to get it out of the house, and I just put a
painting?
video up of this the other day of where I was saying goodbye to the painting, and it turned out it was because it was evidence. They had the camera inside, and so they had been telling me to do all sorts of things,
Wow. Like what?
like
Kill yourself kind of stuff? Like
no,
those kind of messages?
but sexual stuff, and
Oh.
they were
To use against you or to
I
just derail
just
stuff.
to get their kicks off.
Oh, gross. Assholes.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awful.
But you know who this woman was in the physical plane? Like she had a name
yeah,
and so on.
she does have a name.
And
She's a
she
person.
would write to you or email
She
you or
doesn't
text
write.
you?
She doesn't write to me. She sends.
Psychic.
She's a telepath.
Okay.
Oh.
And so, like, there's that power to, like, put thoughts in the mind. There was a lot of different black magic work that was done, basically, like, psychic binding stuff. And I have my own doll, apparently, of me.
Like a,
Oh, like a
voodoo
voodoo
doll?
doll.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was a
shit.
doll, and there was a doll left in December of 2017 right at the tree by my house that
Oh,
looked
fuck
just
that.
just like me.
Oh, God.
Oh, really?
Gross.
Yeah, so it was.
That's eerie.
It's been a big.
And who is she working for? Why is she doing this?
Who is she working for? I don't know that, but I can tell you. I was telling Christina that I was told not to use the phone or the internet for 3 months.
By a good force of
No,
like, bad.
I mean, I don't know who was telling me, but yeah, I was pretty isolated for.
Jesus, that's awful.
Yeah, it was,
How'd you get through that?
It's been month by month. Like,
Yeah,
Wait, who told you not to use the internet?
it's like a telepathic message.
basically, I thought that I was talking to my niece for like 8 months, and it was not my niece, and so they would like lead me on all these
Like, wow.
adventures and sort of like huge dramas that were like about boyfriends being shot and.
But obviously, this is also symptoms of like schizophrenia, right? Like to have these kind of voices in your head all the time, and then they change. How do you know that you're not just becoming mentally unstable or something like that?
I check in with people who I consider to be my elders in the community, and
And the community being
like shamanic priestesses, people of that ilk. You know, I'm known for having gifts. I was hit by a car in 2014, and I flew the distance of 4 cars.
Wow.
And I crossed over for a second and came back.
Oh, wow. So,
One of those, you know, where
Near-death experience. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or you died and came back, so death experience.
yeah. So people know that I have kind of an extraordinary and extrasensory gift. I don't
Yeah.
see like aliens or anything. I just hear all the time. How do you know you're not schizophrenic? That was my question. I'm like, am I turning schizophrenic? And she's like, well, when you're connected to other dimensions, you are to a certain degree.
Yeah. Do you know Laura Lynn
Fol-
Jackson? She's a medium. She's.
I wanted to just hear her finish that statement,
sorry.
though. Yeah.
Oh, just that when you are connecting to other dimensions, like that is the definition of schizophrenia, but it's like you need something to ground you. She suggested I go back to waiting tables just to be not so out there in the world.
I see. And what were you going to say about
Well, I did a 3-day class with her at the Omega Institute, this medium, and
love
she
Omega.
said a lot of times people who are schizophrenic, when we come on this planet, we have imagine like a dunce cap over our brains, but it protects us from all the knowledge. There's so much information that's almost incomprehensible for the human mind to grasp. And a lot of times with schizophrenics, you can imagine just that dunce cap is just a little crooked and too much stimuli is getting in and they're hearing too much and they
Wild.
know too much. And she said that's a lot of times what schizophrenia is. I'm like, that is so fascinating. She talked about nonverbal autistic people being super sensitive to energies and stuff, and they have like these psychic powers that are kind of untapped. And I'm like, okay, that's very interesting. So it's like schizophrenia almost seems like it's certainly a valid question to ask oneself, right? But then it's also like, is that label just get thrown at people to just kind of shove them in a bin?
I mean, I feel like there's definitely a bit of a what's that word? You know, there is such a negative connotation with a lot of mental illnesses.
Right.
But I feel like it applies in some ways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a balance.
Yeah.
But it's good that you have that balance, even to take that in as a as a part of the spectrum in a way. You know?
Yeah. I mean, just keeping in mind to make sure you don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah. What kinds of things have you connected for people who have gone to see you to have a session with you? Like, do you have any stories that stand out for you of like kind of like a miraculous healing, or like giving somebody a piece of information that changed their life, or like really making a a dent in somebody in a good way?
I would say, I was saying to someone earlier that I spend about 90% of my time with spirits and not humans. So it
Are
feels.
they better company?
I mean, they're really helpful. Those spirits that I surround myself with, they're definitely trying to help me to move forward. As far as like healing work that's been beneficial, I put everything out there on the internet, and so I can't really tell you how people respond. I know that people read my stuff, but I just I'm sort of like a messenger for the spirits, basically.
So what kind of things, I guess, do clients come to you for?
Mostly people feel run down and disconnected and are not, they're so up here that they can't like even feel their body. And so a lot of the work that I end up doing is teaching them practices that will actually allow you to like be in your lower body. And
Is it individual? Is it dependent on each individual that you see, or do these can you share some of these practices that we can all kind of? Are there any like tips and tricks to be more in your body and to just
Ticks and trips.
Ticks, yeah, to like get the negative shit out, and also just like I always say, you know.
Oh yeah.
My goal is always to connect with my most genuine self at all times, you know. Like and I feel when I'm disconnected, I feel it and I fucking hate it and I get depressed and I'm like, fuck, this sucks. You know, when you're in that space, and I try to meditate and you know ground myself, but is there anything, you know, I've heard things like, you know, imagine a shower of white light coming, and when I do that, it does feel better. But like, are there any things that people can do to kind of, yeah, just allow their soul to more come through?
So the things that are coming through right now are, the spirits just said hit shuffle, because they will, number one, if you can sing, that it clears your throat chakra and just like sort of sends away all that energy that whatever is like holding on to you or what have you.
Okay.
What else would I say?
Shuffle?
Like on a playlist?
Yeah, most of my playlists are like almost 500 hours long.
Yeah.
So I hit.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Not even.
This
I'm
is
like
Spotify.
I asked for a message. I've asked for a message. I'm
Yeah.
like, just play me something that I need to hear with something in it for like a little nugget for me.
And if you sing the song that they play for you, you will probably get some feeling in your lower body, like your legs, when that is the message that they're trying to pass on to you for whatever you need to do.
Well, that's cool. Is it possible to ask if you can? Because I imagine you have to get into a certain energetic space, but like, you know, to do like or if you're picking up on anything from either Daniel or myself, like anything like we need to know. I always, whenever I get like readings and stuff, I'm like, is there anything I need to know? Like, is that?
Yeah, would you want to do a reading with one of us
Yeah.
in like the 10 minutes, 15 minutes we have or something like that?
Sure. I mean, are you a fire sign?
No, I'm a double Pisces.
Yeah, your energy is, you're so up here, I'm sure, but you're a comedian and a writer.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, just talking to me. What do you want? Give me a subject and then I can.
Okay. You know, well, I have two that are on my mind, but one is like parents, my parents. I'm not speaking with them, and I always like almost every day I'm like, should I? Am I a bad person if I don't? No, just fucking. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? If someone were to tell me that it was a spiritual task in this lifetime to mend that relationship, and I will advance, which is a very selfish reason to mend a relationship, I would do it. But other than that, it would be done out of guilt, which I would say is not the right path.
So that's not the energy you want to step into if you're doing it and you know that you're just feeling like it's your obligation, but not necessarily that it's going to bring you any elevation spiritually. Then there's,
yeah, I just don't know if it is. That's my main thing. I'm like,
I mean, the thing that was coming up with you is the root of what is the reason that there's that division there needs to be looked at. And if you do that, that actually will work out the karma of whatever you're stuck in with them. But there's importance in really sort of dropping into, okay, well, what's in this feeling? What is the main emotion that's coming out, and what does it need to be tended to?
But that wasn't really. That didn't seem like it was the spirits kind of speaking to you. That seemed more like you already had that assessment in a weird way.
The word root just came right out with her.
I also, and this was kind of alluded to one of the interviews, and I've had another person allude to this. I'm like, are there memories from my childhood that I'm repressing that I need to remember? Because if so, to like, kind of move on from them, right? Like, I've read a lot about repressed memories, and I understand that that's your brain's protective mechanism, but I can also understand how it kind of bogs you down and holds you down.
Someone just put their hands over your heart.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
It felt like heat. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what they were showing me, is that they were putting hands on your heart.
What does that mean?
That to a certain, you said you don't meditate very much, right?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Daily or every other day.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you always talk this fast?
Yes. I'm a
Yeah.
very fast talker.
Yeah.
I do everything fast.
If you do some heart, that's to me what they're saying is like, because you're such a fast thinker, that there is benefit in you moving into the heart area and just sort of dropping into what it is that moves so fast inside of you.
Okay. Ooh, that's a
Should I
good
try one?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
So I've written a lot about psychedelics, but I haven't really been doing any psychedelics recently for various reasons. I feel like it began to have like a negative effect on me in certain ways, but I kind of miss it, and I keep thinking I should go back and particularly do like ceremonies and so on. That's a question for me. Like,
Should you do that?
I have friends who have places upstate I could go to, which is calling to me a little bit. Just curious if there's like a sense of like, that's like a barred gate, or that's still like an open gate, or something like that.
They just said beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also a little skewed in that sense. I think plant medicine is super powerful. I'm very happy that weed is now legal. But that as far as you, like, it was something that really created even more openness in you and just a deep resonance. And that maybe there's a little bit of a hunger there about not going and having those experiences again. So that's what.
Hunger about not going there, or like
Yeah, that when you hold yourself back from an experience or a process that is like basically a huge part of your development and making you who you are, then you get starved. And so
Not doing it.
yeah.
so I should go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a yes. A resounding yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please go.
I want to really become a medium. Is that in the cards? Because if it's not, I'll stop trying. When you're like barking up a tree and you're like, does this tree want me
You
here?
haven't really tried yet, though.
I kind of have. I don't know. I guess I'm just waiting for an aha click moment of like opening up, like a.
Do you have someone who's on the other side for you that no one yet?
I mean, I have grandparents who passed away. My biological father that I didn't know wasn't the dad who raised me. I learned that very recently. He passed away before I never got to meet him. But I've been told by readers that he's like there, like he's. But I don't know.
So for you, it's important that somebody have like a cord connection to somebody that they were close to that passed away?
I would not necessarily. I mean, I think that I would have figured this out if my niece hadn't died. I think that what you just really need to develop the muscle.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you do that? Just meditate?
It's important to have some sort of alpha. Is it alpha or is it theta?
Theta wave or something.
Theta. The music is definitely helpful in that sense. I think that you just, it does come down to meditation to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now by Matt Oren where he talks about, like, you cannot be a good psychic unless you work with the muscle and really develop it. And that's sort of...
But that can't be all of it, because many people meditate and don't have any channeling or mediumship. So
Right.
what else would be helpful?
think if you have the desire to do it, that's got to mean something. That means you're attracted to it.
Were you drawn to a lot of psychics?
Yeah, just I've always been kind of super into and fascinated by healers, psychics, mediums, aliens. I love, just curious about that. But yeah, I mean,
I used to spend all my money when I lived in Seattle. I used to spend all my money on going to seeing
Psychics?
someone monthly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely into hearing about it. I didn't have any idea at that time that I would be as tethered to the spirits as I am now. I had no idea whatsoever. I didn't think I'd be spending all day talking to them, you know? So the ways in that I think are the easiest is, do you work with pictures at all? Like, do you respond to visuals, or are you more like, what is your area? Like, how do you feel things for yourself?
Oh, right. I'll get like, I did an exercise where I held an object of somebody who's passed away that I didn't know, and I would get very vivid pictures, whether my eyes were open or closed, didn't matter. My feeling, I feel like, you probably use the word empath to describe me, but that might be because I grew up in a very volatile environment, but I was used to like really intense adult emotions at a very young age. Yeah. But I can feel, I can feel people's energy, like very, if it's negative, it'll stand out to me, and I'll just go away.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that when you're younger, that there's this tendency of when you're an empath, you sort of become a caretaker for everyone around you, and then you feel other people more than you even feel yourself. You sort of get lost in all of that.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know who I am, and then you're in your 30s, and you're like, what the fuck? I will say something.
Wait, slow down. What was the last thing you were just saying about that you got lost in? How does that relate to her being a medium now? That's, I guess, what I was wanting to know.
Well, I was just thinking about that because I've never stepped out of myself as far as like, well, I know what works for me. I start music early in the morning and I go all day and we figure it all out, But some people, that's not their strong suit. Some people put just a candle and a glass of water to connect to their ancestors. Doing ancestral healing work is a great way to start to develop that muscle, It's a way of communicating with your people. If you're doing it every day and you are seeing what you can develop over time, the spirits will communicate with you.
Well, I guess one of my theories is that sometimes we're blocked from certain capabilities, not because we couldn't have them, but because we're just supposed to do something else.
Yeah,
like
and I fully accept.
If you were sitting around talking to spirits 90% of your time, then you wouldn't be doing
do other shit.
Other shit. Exactly.
And I have a lot of. I will say one thing that I was like, oh yeah, that does happen to me, and I guess I've never told anybody about it because it's weird, and I don't care that it's weird, but I'm like, I don't know what it means. I'll be alone in my home. Mm-hmm. It's happened in this apartment. It's happened in the last apartment. And it's happened in the last 3 apartments that I've had. Where I'll hear, and I don't know why I know it's a man, but I'll hear a guy right next to me go, and I'm like, what the? To the point where it freaks. I get scared.
You sniffed glue in a past life.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, it was a bad girl. But it's so bizarre, to the point where, sometimes if it'll happen at night, I'm like, is there a person in my home? Like, I'm just checking just to make sure. But I have a dog, and usually pets can, immediately senses there's somebody else there.
Right.
My dog always sees stuff. He'll stare at stuff. He'll wake up, come out from under the bed in the middle of the night, and just stare right in front of the bed. And I'm like, Kevin, you gotta stop doing that. That's freaking me out.
Does he chase stuff at all?
Not invisible stuff.
Okay.
But he'll stare, and his head will do this, as if there's a firefly in the room.
Yeah.
Because I know that animals are very sensitive and they can pick up stuff that we cannot. So that's one of the perks of having a pet in the house is that their radar is pretty polished.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
When there have been times when my apartment has been just infested with malevolent spirits back before I learned about cleansing, and I would watch my cats be chased.
Damn.
Yeah, you can definitely sense.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I had a question for you. I was curious. We asked the last person this. It was super interesting. Like, most of the world is still not very into psychic stuff. I mean, most people are materialists or physicalists, skeptics. Like, let's say this becomes a really big podcast, and suddenly this is being seen by like 1 million people or whatever. What would be like your message to all those people? Like, what would you love them to think about, think differently about, know that you know?
You have so many people on the other side who are working to support you, connect to you, show you stuff. And if you start to just open the aperture and really like contemplate and stop being so linear, but really contemplate just catching all of what is right there before your eyes, they will help you make your life better. They will work. We have bodies, it's great. They have so much more than anything we could even dream of.
Yes. Our bodies are limiting in a way compared to, right?
For sure. I can't wait to cross over.
Right. Honestly, the more I learn about death and the more I read about death and the experiences, it sounds like the most beautiful experience you will have.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you think happens when you cross over? What do the spirits tell you happens?
I see, like when Mike Williams OD'd.
What's that?
He was Omar on The Wire.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And this is an example of how they used the music with me. A couple hours, like literally 2 or 3 hours before I heard that he had OD'd, I was crossing McGolrick Park. They played Heroin, and shiver went through my body. I went home and I saw that he had OD'd.
Mm.
I knew someone had, but I didn't know who it was at that point.
Wow. He was like a beloved figure.
He came through like almost instantaneously. Wow. Part of it has to do with the fact that we're so close together. So I tend to really, when people especially if it's a violent death or an overdose or a killing or what have you, they see my light and they like go for it.
Wow.
So my apartment is full of pictures of like overdoses and suicides and
What do you mean by pictures of?
on the walls.
Oh, really? That you put up?
Yes.
Wow.
Surrounded. Because
that's a bummer.
It's not for me. It's like one of my gifts is like helping the earthbound spirits elevate. Yeah.
Right, because I've
they're
heard
still stuck here.
when it's a sudden death, especially too, like they get confused.
Right.
And they're not sure like what's happening or what's going on, and they can linger.
Yeah, they don't know that they're dead. They think that.
So is that what happened with this guy, with Matt Williams?
It's interesting because I did see him like, it's the first time that I saw someone in white. You hear about that. You hear about like, and in movies they show him in white, but he actually was wearing like a white tunic, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember that the Killers song, what is it? I can't think of it. I can't think. It's all these things that I've done or whatever started to play, and I could feel that was his song, and that he had all of this remorse because he just fell off the wagon, and he was like, you have to let people know.
Wow. That he has the remorse that he has,
That
or that
it was not his intention, and that and
it wasn't like a suicidal
that's not what
thing.
no, it wasn't at all. It
Right.
was like just had a moment where he gave in, did the drugs, and he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I've read, like I said earlier, books about for mediumship, and I'm always so interested to see how. And I've read Dr. Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters, was just such an incredible, like, mind-bendingly, like, that opened up a whole thing for me where I go, oh, this is a key potentially to understanding certain relationships you have with people in your life. And I always, the cycles of abuse, that some people really come to this earth and experience awful abuse. And I know a lot of people the podcast Guys We Fuck that I have, I get written about women who were raped, men who were raped, a lot of adults who were molested as kids, and I'm always like, what the fuck is that? You know, is it like a past life they molested? Like what? It happens so it's so common, and it's such an atrocious thing to be. And then you pair it with how common it is. And I'm like, what? Because I was thinking, you know, if I were to meet a medium, these are the questions. Like I would understand, like why. What is that in our society? Like, why does that happen?
I went and saw someone who does shamanic journeying about something similar because that was showing up for me. And he took me on a past life regression, which was basically that it was reversed. Like in that lifetime where this person was my child, and and I was the abuser. And so, was that true? I don't know.
You'll never know. I mean, it's,
you know,
yeah.
But there is, I don't know how much past life work you've ventured into, or if what you've.
I've gotten regressed before once, and it was and
how was it for you?
Really interesting. A lot of information about power dynamics with my mother and I. She's my mother many times, and I was her mom at least once that I remember from these regressions. But yeah, it was really interesting.
It's so funny because when I got my first one, and the woman asked me who I wanted, I heard my mom too. It's like, I think that looking at the mother piece, I mean, obviously it's so charged for women, different for men, but just as strong. How was your experience?
Well, I talked about it previously, but I had like 3 or 4 different little past life experiences with the hypnosis. 3, I guess. It was great. You know, I also don't know exactly what it means, you know.
Yeah.
I do want to mention that we are going to have to like wrap up today in a minute.
Okay.
Anything else that you feel like really called to share? Any of the spirits want to share with the audience before we close down?
Just that, open yourselves up to them. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us
you.
today.
Yeah, we appreciate your time.
It's nice to see you.